YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Cedric Banks. I appreciate you guys for all tuning into my video today. Today we're actually going to be discussing how you can buy a house without paying a down payment. I talk to people just about every single day about real estate, and this is the main question that I always get is to how to buy a house without paying a down payment. So there are some programs that I'm aware of that I will be sharing in this video today. So hopefully these are a good fit. So obviously I am a real estate agent, so I talk about real estate all the time, every day. But I do mainly speak to buyers, and there are a lot of first-time home buyers that ask me a lot of questions about some of the programs I will be discussing today. So just in case you are a first-time home buyer who may not have any kind of knowledge about these down payment assistance programs I'll be discussing, hopefully you like one of them, you figure it's a good fit for you, and you'll be able to use it when you purchase your house. Also, I want to disclose the fact that I am only a North Carolina real estate agent. I am not a mortgage loan officer at all. So after this video, if you have any questions about funds, approvals, or any of these programs I'm going to be talking about, feel free to reach out to me in my comments. Feel free to DM me on any of my social media handles, and I can definitely get you in contact with a lender in the local area. The first option for covering your down payment that I always ask all of my clients is using a VA loan. If you are a veteran or some kind of active duty service member and you take care of your credit, you have a decent amount of money saved up, you may be eligible to qualify for a VA loan. So if you do not know what a VA loan is basically a government program backed by the Department of Veteran Affairs. They are the ones that actually offer the zero down payment option. What that basically means is that you can just purchase a house without having to worry about 3% down, 3.5% down, 10, 15, 20%, whatever your loan may be. There's no cost for that. It'll be covered by the government themselves. And all you have to worry about is some or all of the closing costs, depending on if you get any closing costs negotiated. It is important to note that VA loans do have some additional requirements, such as a funding fee and passing an appraisal inspection, just like any other property. So make sure you do your research when it comes to VA loans before you fully apply. So depending on what your financial situations look like, you may not want to use this down payment program because you might want to just buy this house, flip it and sell it, or you might want to buy this house and instead of actually keeping it for 15 years, you might want to only keep it for 5 years because you have a job or a contract that will only last for a certain amount of time, so you know that by the time you move you would just want to sell. So this program isn't for everybody, but if you are a first-time home buyer and you're like, I can see myself owning this house for 15 plus years, then by all means definitely use the program, especially when it's your first house, because you only get one chance to use it. Once you buy a house, you can't really use that same exact program again. However, if you are an investor, this is a great way to get your first property in a very cheap way, because you could just purchase it, live in it for a few years, maybe buy your next house, and then when you live in that house, you can rent this one out, which I have seen some people do before. So if you are somebody like me who has never been to the military, the Navy, the Army, and you can't obviously get a VA loan, luckily for you, there are other programs at the federal, state, and local levels that can offer grants to help cover your down payment assistance. Some down payment assistance programs are only available to first-time home buyers, but there are also other down payment assistance programs for people who already own properties as well. You just gotta pretty much figure out which one is best for you. In North Carolina, we actually have the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency that has several programs that can help with your down payment assistance. For instance, we have the North Carolina Home Advantage Mortgage, which helps people with stable income to get a loan up to 3%. In North Carolina, the NC Housing Finance Agency actually has several programs that can help with down payment assistance, such as the NC Home Advantage Mortgage, which provides qualified individuals with stable fixed rate mortgages and down payment assistance up to 3% of the loan amount. The agency also offers a $15,000 down payment option known as the NC First Home Advantage Down Payment just for first-time home buyers or military veterans who are eligible. The only downfall or negative impact, I guess you could say, that the down payment assistance from your local government has is that if they give you down payment assistance, you have 15 years before you can ever refinance or sell the property. So if you ever decide to move away, or you saw that there's better mortgage rates and you refinance, if you do it before 15 years, the government is actually going to want that down payment back. So what I always tell all of my buyers is, whatever this down payment option is giving you with your mortgage, and if you're fine with that monthly payment, make sure it's something you're fine with for the next 15 years, because if not, you could either be putting yourself in a hole, or you might end up not satisfied with your purchase anymore. So this is why some people say this program isn't for everybody, because some people have the investor mindset. They might want to fix and flip their first house. They might want to buy their first house, make it an Airbnb for 5 or so years, and once they get $50,000 or $100,000 in equity or whatever their number is, they might want to sell. So if you do decide to use this program, make sure it's a property that you plan on keeping for at least 15 years. Now, to get into the eligibility aspect of DPA, down payment assistance, for one, if you are in North Carolina, you have to make sure that once you close on a property, you occupy it within 60 days. Now, to get into the eligibility of these programs, if you are somebody who is looking to use DPA, down payment assistance, for one, you have to make sure you are moved into the property within 60 days. You also have to make sure you don't make more than $126,000 a year, because if you make more than that, then you actually don't qualify. You also got to have a credit score of 640 or higher, and you have to make sure that you are going with a lender who can go with the program and give you a FHA, VA, USDA, or conventional loan. And lastly, obviously, you got to make sure you are a legal resident of the United States. So if you meet these requirements and you are looking to use this first-time homebuyer program, feel free to, again, as always, reach out to your boy on Instagram, Twitter, any of my social media handles that you might see in the description, or my phone number, and I can definitely get you started. Now, this part of the video is for somebody who might not want to use the down payment assistance program because they don't like to hear that 15-year obligation they got to make on not being able to refinance or sell the property. If you are somebody that don't want to go that route, you can definitely use a bank that actually has their own loan programs to cover your down payment assistance. So once again, to remind everybody, I am a North Carolina real estate agent, so I can only really talk about what I know here in North Carolina, and we do have a few banks that can actually cover your down payment for you if you bank with them. So some of the banks in North Carolina that can cover your down payment is State Employees Credit Union, Bank of America, Navy Federal, and First Citizens Bank. Those are some of the banks that I've worked with in the past and seen how they actually covered the down payment for my buyers. My personal favorite one to work with is State Employees Credit Union. I think that they have a very good program when it comes to down payment assistance, because they will actually cover your down payment and give you up to $2,000 in closing costs. The only thing about that with State Employees Credit Union is that it's not a fixed rate, it's an adjustable rate. So every 5 years, your rate could change. So some people don't like that option either, but you could, with state employees, technically purchase a property with them and refinance and lock in a rate. Other than North Carolina, I know that state employees also work for South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and Tennessee. So if you are watching this video and you're in any of those states and you actually have State Employees Credit Union as a bank, you can actually use this program for your first house and get some good down payment assistance and closing cost help. Now with the other banks, such as First Citizens Bank, Navy Federal, and Bank of America, they are their own program that has their own qualifications for down payment assistance. But I really just like state employees the most because they give that extra razzle dazzle with the $2,000 closing costs. So also with Bank of America, as of now, it only works in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you live in another part of North Carolina, you wouldn't even be able to use Bank of America and their new down payment assistance program. So that's pretty much all I have when it comes to banks in North Carolina that can cover your down payment. If you're watching this video and you know a bank that I didn't discuss that can cover your down payment, I would love to know what bank that is. So feel free to drop that in the comments because I'll guarantee I'll see it. So the next option that I have for covering your down payment assistance is actually getting a home equity loan. If you already own a home and you built up equity over time, you know, by maybe doing a little bit of updates and taking care of your property, or you know, it's been selling, all the homes in your area have been selling more expensive, so your house naturally appreciates, you can actually use some of that equity from your home to cover your down payment for your next home. A home equity loan, if you don't know, is basically a second mortgage that you would put against the equity on your home. So this option can be a little bit risky because it puts your home at risk if you're not paying the payments in time. So the last and the final option that I have for you all on how you can cover your down payment when you are purchasing a house is getting a gift from a family member. Depending on who you get a loan with, you can actually get your down payment assistance covered with a gift from a family member, as long as the lender allows it. Majority of the loan programs that I work with actually allow for gifted funds from a family member, as long as it's a brother, sister, cousin, mother, father, or even sometimes a close friend that's basically a relative. A loan officer will allow a gifted fund as long as all the eligible requirements are met. Those requirements are simple. It's basically just whoever the gift giver is will need to provide a gift letter, and once they get documentation showing the funds has been transferred into your account, then you can use the funds for your down payment assistance or closing costs or whatever the case may be. So that is all I have for today, friends and family. I appreciate everybody who has taken the time to watch this video. Do me a favor, if you stuck around to this part of the video right now, comment 777 in the comments. I would love to see who is actually retaining some of this information, who is actually sticking to the end and supporting me. If you are somebody that is looking to use any of these down payment assistance programs that I mentioned, I know some of them are only North Carolina based, but I do have a large network at eXp Realty where I can find agents pretty much anywhere across the country. So if you are somebody who needs a realtor in your area, feel free to comment, feel free to DM me on any of my social media handles. Me being a part of eXp Realty, there are agents all over the states that I have a network with, so I wouldn't have an issue finding a good realtor for you. If you are a buyer looking in North Carolina, or even a seller and you don't have a go-to realtor or you don't know anybody in the area, feel free to hire your boy. I do work very hard. A lot of my clients like my work ethic. I'm very responsive, so feel free to DM me on any of my social media handles. Comment below any questions you got. So looking forward to helping you all, and I wish you all have an abundant day.